the year 2005, 2006, I can't remember which is the right year. I saw Moi at Kabarak when we went to work there, waking up early in the morning, 8, to come and supervise a building. He had finished from your presidency. And he used to stay there for 7 hours.
At Kabarak?
At Kabarak, yes.
After the presidency?
Yes. When the new buildings were being done, he could come and stay there. He had retired. He could stay watching you people build. Because Moi loved fine construction. NSSF.
He was a fine man.
Yeah, he was fine, and his suits, yeah. He was very keen. Yeah.
Dressing code.
He was very keen on that, yeah. So if you can also see some of the churches that were built, which is called AIC churches.
Yes.
You know, as much as Moi was a man of church, he was closer to his church. It was called African Independent Church, AIC. So if you see most of the AIC churches, if you make a tour of this country, they are really well done.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Moi loved good workmanship.
Kabisa.
At his work.
Kibaki
no, he was not very keen because anybody can do it. But Moi was there. That's why he was saying he could not leave universities to anybody. He was the chancellor of the 6 universities in Kenya. And he used to attend the graduation as the chancellor and awards the universities himself because he was minding the education of this country.
So serious.
Yeah, he was very keen.
It's not that he was greedy, he just was concerned.
Was very concerned.
About the education of this country.
Yeah, that one he was concerned. And the students, the Moi people will take long to disappear. Remember, the 844 students have not retired. The ones who started the system are still in the system. Most of them will retire in the year 2031. That's when majority will retire. But they have not retired. They are the ones who are running the economy, meaning that the system was not that bad.
Kabisa.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. Yeah.
Moi made such a great contribution.
Yeah, but we hope also the CPC, I've already had a test of it, is not going to be a bad thing idea any longer.
In fact, we're going to have a topic, a day we are going to talk about CBC itself.
Yeah.
So that people get to understand.
Yeah, it's
CBC.
a good thing.
Sindio? So in a nutshell, Moi was a good leader. Who do you think can take after him?
What I can say, I don't know who can take after him.
Even these governors?
Me, I can say that the only thing is also copy whatever good he did, and I don't copy whatever bad he did. But for him, for quality, Moi was number one. Quality.
Number one?
Yes. Quality.
Eh?
Yeah, he was very keen on quality.
Okay.
Yeah, you could not compromise.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing with us about Moi.
Thank you.
Eh?
So for me, I am qualified to talk about Moi. Because when I went to Standard 1, he brought sugarcane so that we can go to school. Then later it was now introduced with milk. And we used to take milk 3 days a week.
People used to have sugarcane in school?
Yeah, for children, so that they can, you know, during those days it was better you stay at home with the cows than go to school. So they had to look for a way to attract children
to school,
to abandon grazing and go to school. So they had to place something in school which will make children go to school. But again, that time, education now became so good because anytime you finish, there's a job. Yeah. Ukimaliza kazi yako iko. In fact, people used to finish and you have what, 10 options. 10 options. Until you are confused where you are. Are you going to Kenya Power? Are you going to agriculture? Are you going to education? There was that kind of confusion.
But now,
now things changed. But I'm still saying that Kenya population is not that threatening. In China, we have 1.4 billion and everybody has a job. We are only 51 million. That's a very small population. And we have a good weather. We should produce more. You know, Kapsabet has produced 2 presidents. Yeah. The Moi and now Ruto. William Ruto. Yeah. So the Kapsabet school itself, Moi, this is what I talk about endowment. When the alumni is strong for a school, that school will stand.
Sindio?
You know, even as a university, you call yourself, where are our alumni? Watu wetu wameenda wapi? Where are they? Can they come back and build us? Did we give them quality education? Yeah. Universities should ask themselves, their graduates, where are they? Are they producing out here? Can they be proud of their alumni? You know, all universities should be challenged. Call your alumni. Give us something. And that is what will have happen. So I believe that I wanted to give you an highlight. I started following politics as a young child from 1979, 83, 88, 92, 97, 202, even 207, 2013, 2017, 2022. So I have been able to see how I can say I have lived with those people I've talked about. I cannot comment so much about Jomo Kenyatta, but from my reading, he was the most exposed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You
But
know
then,
him, he lived in London for over 15 years, for a very long time. And he was a writer and an actor.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah. Him, he was very exposed. Yeah.
He knew so many things.
He knew so many things. Him, his background was English. Yes. And for a very long time. He was even a very serious businessman. By the way, are you aware that Jomo Kenyatta used to sell, was a secretary of a group that was selling meat from Narok to Nairobi in 1919.
Wow.
Yeah. He had already a shop in Dagoretti by that time. So he was very exposed for Jomo Kenyatta. For Moi was successful because he was a teacher. And even Kibaki had the benefit of being a teacher.
Yeah, Kibaki was at
And
Makerere
him, he
University.
opened the economy. He was more into the economy. And he worked with his classmate, Muiraria, who was in finance. So with them, they were able to run that. But they were also able to pick quickly because Kenya had no loans. Moi left Kenya without loans as a president. Yeah, there was very little money, which they paid 600 billion. It was not that much. But the Kibaki found Kenya virgin land. So he was able to come up quickly because you remember that he had also worked under Moi as a vice president. So by the time he took over, he was able to expand the economy of this country a little bit that fast. But now we are saying we are still on an upward trajectory.
Yes.
And what he did most was to write down what he expects Kenya to be.
Okay.
And I
Vision
think
2030.
Uhuru Vision 2030, that's what now Uhuru did, and that's what the current president is also trying to do about it. But for those ones, for Uhuru we can speak. For Ruto, yes, no, we are not very sure that we can. But so far, when we are now in science, he's done more in terms of quantities. Only that now Kenyans are more. If we talk about quantities, this means how much cement have you used? Moi used very little.
Very little.
Yeah, with Moi, he was doing just agriculture and education and going around. He was not very keen on very big projects. Yeah, and you remember for Kibaki, he did roads, and he wrote the Vision 2030, which is now being implemented now. What he wrote down, he did not implement it. It's now being implemented now. He started what was called Economic Recovery Strategy of 2003.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.